Howdy, folks. I'm Frosty Woodfrog, frantically fumbling through frigid fields.
I'm Amber.
And here are some less than frigid fields for us to frolic through because it's spring and we're going to be changing our thing up tomorrow. Oh, isn't that exciting? And folks, we have a live stream coming up on Friday. We hope to see you then. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Share My College Dorm for My Older Sister and Her Baby? I'm a 19-year-old female and I'm in my first year of college and I live in a small dorm room on campus. My sister, a 26-year-old female, had a baby a few months ago and she's been struggling financially. She and the baby's father broke up and she had to move back in with our parents. The problem is that she hates living there because our parents are too controlling and judgmental about her being a single mom. She asked if I could request permission for her to stay in the dorm with her baby for a little while because it would be quieter and give her the space to figure things out. I told her no, my dorm is tiny, barely big enough for me, and I have a roommate. Plus a crying baby all night in a shared dorm. That's not fair to my roommate or me. She got upset and said that I was being selfish, that family should help each other out, and that she would do it for me if their roles were reversed. Now my parents are pressuring me just to let her stay for a little while because she's struggling. My roommate thinks that the whole situation is ridiculous and that I shouldn't feel bad, but I'm starting to wonder if I'm being a bad sister. Am I the jerk? Edit, I spoke to the dorm in charge and was told that it wouldn't be allowed at all. I informed my parents and my sister about it, but my sister is still upset and says that I should have been more open to the idea and that I shouldn't have denied her for my selfish reasons before asking for permission. All right, folks, what do you think of this?
Not the jerk, and I'm glad OP checked because I was pretty sure that the dorm would not allow it to begin with. They are very strict about who you have in your rooms. You're not allowed to have like other guests there. Like the purpose is like you and your dorm mate, and that's it.
Quieter? Quieter? She thinks that the dorm, a college dorm, is going to be quieter than living at home with her parents. I don't think that she's gone to college. I seriously doubt that statement has any truth to it. I mean, I've never actually stayed in a college dorm.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
making a lot of assumptions here based off of media that I've seen.
Well, I mean, from people I've talked to who have lived in dorms, my impression is that it's not a quiet space, generally speaking.
I mean, I lived near college in neighborhoods with college students,
Mm-hmm.
and those are far from quiet. My guess is the dorms are not any better. I think that. What do you think of the whole? OP should have been open to the idea and been less selfish.
Nope. I mean, OP did not choose to bring this baby into the world. And end of story. OP's sister, I don't know what her circumstances were, but she has a baby. The baby is her responsibility. And other people don't have to sacrifice their peace to look after this baby.
So I feel bad for the sister, and the respect that I feel bad for all single parents, and I mean even parents. They have a hard time, especially within the first couple of years. Kids require a lot of work and a lot of maintenance, right? And that's the reality of the situation. And there are a lot of circumstances around why someone would bring a child into this world. Sometimes it's not always what you want, and that's, but it's something that someone wants to do anyways. So I feel bad in that respect, especially if it was a situation where she felt like she didn't have any other choice but to bring the child into the world. Now, those are all, of course, rampant speculations. I don't know the answer to any of that, right? But the fact is that she now has to be the parent to this child, and even if her parents are more strict, is that really necessarily a bad thing given the circumstances, right? Like, a child needs a strict, not strict, but needs structure, right? And growing up with a single parent already is going to be a little bit more difficult, and so maybe the parents can bring a little more structure into the child's life as they grow. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. I guess it depends what they mean by strict.
My guess is more like judgmental. Like it sounds like they're judging the sister and maybe like trying to set curfews or something like that,
Hmm.
like judging her choices more harshly. Which, I mean, she's an adult and they do need to recognize that.
Yeah. Yeah, if they are being like that and not allowing the sister to essentially be an adult, then I think that's a problem. And they shouldn't be shaming her for having a child either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things happen and people make decisions, and that's really what it boils down to. There's no shame in having a child young, and that's just sometimes the way life works out, right? So I think the parents, if they're really pressuring her and making her life miserable at home, that's not really fair to her too, right? But maybe she has, maybe there are reasons why the parents are
Or
being extra hard on her.
or maybe they're just getting sick of dealing with the baby because it sounds like they're perfectly happy to have her move into OP's dorm room.
Yeah, it sounds like they're happy, very, very happy about that. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Discount Mithril says, not the jerk. As you stated, a crying baby is not fair or quiet for anyone. How loud can your parents' house be that she needs to get away? It's not about volume. It's that she doesn't want to listen to mom and dad tell her that they are disappointed in her choices. My guess is that your campus will have a firm no as an answer to this. So I actually do encourage you to reach out to them and ask what the policy is on non-students living in campus/dorm rooms that is already at capacity. If it is, as I suspect, it's a clear not allowed. Print that out and hand it to both her and your parents. Editing to add, your sister would 100% use this as an excuse to use you as free labor to take care of her child. This is a time when you should be focusing on schoolwork and living the college life, not taking care of someone else's baby. What do you think of that statement?
I mean, I think that they are right in that OP isn't the parent and shouldn't have parental responsibility. And I do get a sense that, like, what are the odds that OP's sister wouldn't try passing some of the child care off onto her?
Imagine 3 people and a baby living in a dorm room.
Well, like, see, that's the thing is, like, I've stayed in a dorm for, like, events on campus before, and those spaces are tiny. Fitting just, like, the 2 people in there, there's, like, not enough room. So, like, you cram another whole person and a baby in there, that's not going to be pleasant.
No. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to let my parents move in after they kicked me out years ago? I'm a 28-year-old female and I grew up in a strict household where my parents, 50s, valued their reputation over anything else. When I was 18, they found out that I had a boyfriend that they didn't approve of. They gave me an ultimatum, break up with him or leave, and I chose to leave. I struggled, I worked multiple jobs, I couch surfed, and I eventually got on my feet. My boyfriend, now husband, and I built a life together. I went to college, I got a decent job, and we recently bought our first home. Now, my parents are struggling financially. My dad lost his job, and my mom's health isn't great. They reached out asking if they could move in with us for a little while. At first, I considered it, but then I remembered how they treated me when I needed them most. They never once checked in on me. They never offered help. I asked my younger brother, a 24-year-old male, why they didn't call me in all those years, and he admitted that they were embarrassed that I had disrespected them. I told them no, I wasn't cruel about it, just firm. I said that I hoped they find a solution, but we couldn't take them in. My mom started crying, saying that family takes care of family, and my dad called me ungrateful and said that they did what was best back then. Now my extended family is divided. Some say that I should forgive and help. Others say that I am right to protect my peace. My brother says that I should compromise and help financially, but not let them move in. So am I the jerk for saying no? Alright folks, what do you think of this situation?
Not the jerk. Extended family can house the parents if they feel like it.
Or the brother?
Or the brother. Yeah, well, that's why, like, yeah, any of those people involved who are saying that OP can do things, like, they can step up and help the parents. But OP is not in the wrong. And I really, really do not like these parents who, like, think their children should be groveling at their feet because they housed them for 18 years.
Yeah.
It's like a child, well, the transition from childhood to adulthood is a difficult time. And to throw someone out at 18 because they're dating someone you don't like is like, and not check to make sure she's okay. Like, what if this relationship had gone south? They were not being good parents, and OP didn't ask to be brought into this world. They made the decision to have a child, and they accepted the responsibilities that go along with this.
Mm-hmm.
OP does not assume financial responsibility for her parents by the virtue of being born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this whole situation, I feel bad for OP. Like, they were put in a bad situation. And, I mean, sometimes, it works out where you have to move out young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the circumstances under which they had to move out were not great. And I feel bad that they had to kind of survive on their own in that respect, right? But I think that the parents, they really set themselves up here if they were expecting OP to ever return the favor, right? I mean,
Right.
like,
Well, and the audacity too of being like, well, we did the right thing when Opie even went on to marry the man that they didn't like. Like, it's
mm-hmm,
like clearly Opie's life has worked out in a way that she's happy with.
yeah,
So for them to just sit there and be like, no, we did the right thing.
yeah. So I think that again, like any of the relatives who are concerned about this and saying that family helps family, then they need to take a good hard look at themselves and say, well, we're family to these people as well, right?
Well, and why do they even want to live with OP's husband if he wasn't good enough for her and is such a disgrace, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they would have had to apologize years ago
Mm-hmm.
for this before they could even show their faces to OP like this, right? Like this should have been something that they apologized about and said, "Look, we were really sorry the way we acted. We were foolish and immature at the time. We thought that you would ruin your life and we wanted to prevent that. And so that's why we tried forcing this, but it looks like you had everything, worked out anyways, right?" But you can't just come to OP when you need something and then be like, "Oh, remember we're a family, right?"
Yeah.
It's like you weren't really a family. You kind of kicked OP out and didn't treat them like a family member. And
Mm-hmm.
now, when it's convenient, you're coming back and being like, "Family?"
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. I sincerely hope that you pointed out to them the irony of their family helps family claim. And Opie replies, they kicked me out and left me to struggle on my own. I don't know where family helps family is coming from. And Little Pickle Tickle says, not the jerk, probably isn't just about spite or vengeance. You have to be really careful about letting people into your living space. If they start receiving mail at your address, I think it gives them some kind of legal right and you need to go through the eviction process to get them to leave if they refuse, like a landlord. Plus, they sound like toxic family, kicking you out so young but having double standards. Living with parents as an adult in a marriage is often a recipe for disaster. And OP replies, given how they treated me in the past, I don't trust that they would respect my space now. Living with parents as a married adult is already complicated. But when there's a history of toxicity and double standards, that's a disaster waiting to happen. And Reaction Either 6684 says, not the jerk. Family takes care of family. Funny how that only applies now that they need something from you. They made their choice when they kicked you out and refused to check on you for a decade. You built a life without their support, and you're not obligated to undo their mistakes at your expense. Helping financially if you want to is an option, but don't let guilt push you into sacrificing your own well-being for someone who didn't do the same for you. And OP replies, when I was 18 and struggling, they chose their pride over me. They never checked in, they never offered help, just let me figure it out all on my own. Now that I've built a life without their support, I'm supposed to undo their mistake at my own expense? No. If I want to help financially, that's my choice. But I won't let them guilt me into sacrificing my well-being for people who didn't do the same for me. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Giving Up My College Dorm for My Cousin? I'm a 19-year-old female and I'm currently in my first year at college. I got really lucky and landed one of the single dorm rooms on campus. It's small but quiet and private, and I really like having my own space. I struggle with anxiety and being able to decompress alone has helped a lot. A few weeks ago, my aunt called me and asked if my cousin, an 18-year-old female, could take over my dorm next semester. She's starting at the same college and didn't get a dorm. Apparently she applied late and now she's stuck on a waiting list. My aunt said that I only live an hour away from campus and I could commute. I told her no, it's my dorm and I've settled in, and commuting every day would be exhausting and bad for my mental health. My cousin and I aren't even that close. My aunt got super upset and said that I was being selfish and that family helps family. My cousin texted me, too, saying that I was being unfair and ruining her college experience before it even started. I feel bad, but I also don't think that it's fair to ask me to give up my space. My parents are on my side, but now the rest of the extended family is gossiping and saying that I'm being stuck up. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. It sounds like you did everything on time and were able to get your dorm. And your cousin waited too long and is now on a wait list. Like, it seems like consequences of her own actions.
Yeah.
But to top it off, I don't even think this would work like that. Like, as far as I know, generally when someone gives up a dorm, it would go to the next person on the wait list.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go straight to your cousin. Like, you can't do tradesies like that. And you certainly don't want your cousin living in the dorm under your name.
Yeah.
Because that would go south really quickly and you could get in serious trouble as well as your cousin.
Yeah. So I think that the cousin just needs to absorb the consequences of their actions here. I think that they applied late. They are now on a waiting list, and it could be that they get on into a dorm anyways, right? There's no guarantee that they won't. There's a lot of time between now and when they start college. So I think that they just need to be patient and start planning ahead now, and things will work out. But they can't just sit here and try to take OP's dorm room, which isn't even fair to OP. And given that it's an hour commute, they said, probably the university isn't even going to allow it. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it depends on the university. Like, I know UMaine, you had to live within like a 40-mile radius of campus to not live in the dorms your first year.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess that wouldn't be OP's first year, or would it still be their first year? I can't remember if they said semester or year.
I think they're saying like next year. So I think OP's already a college student, and so it'll be their second year. But
yeah, it's hard for me to know what exactly they're saying here. But yeah, no, OP's not in the wrong. They don't need to sacrifice their dorm room. And like you said, it probably wouldn't even work the way the cousin wants it to work. It's just going to go into the pool of available dorm rooms for the next person on the waiting list.
right, and then no one in the family has a dorm.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Reddit Lurker 1981 says, your aunt and your cousins are being entitled. Besides, I don't think that dorm rooms can just be exchanged like that. Tell your aunt and your cousin that they can just go away. And OP replies, oh no, she wants me to take it and just hand it off to her, basically. Oh yeah.
Do not do that.
That's going to, like, because then, like, suppose that they don't even catch the trade-off, right? That the dorm doesn't ever figure out that OP isn't the one living in that room. OP will be responsible for any damage that she does to that dorm room, right?
Well, and if they do find out that OP's not there, OP's going to get in trouble and could face serious consequences as well as the cousin.
Might even get expelled.
Right, because you're not allowed to just do switchies with dorms like that.
Yeah. And Celtic Music Book says that's not even how college dorms work. Either the person assigned to that dorm lives there, or the college goes to the next person on the waiting list. You have no power to give away your dorm room, so this is a non-issue. But, I mean, again, that's not what OP is saying. Literally, they just want OP to take the room and not inhabit it.
Yeah, which is, again, very, very bad idea for many reasons and could cost OP her education.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might you call a cat fixated on being the very best?
Oh, I would call them the catrobatic cat of the century.
A perfectionist.
Ooh, that's good.
Today is International Day for Achievers.
So go find yourself someone who's really high achieving and then knock them down a couple of pegs.
No, do not do that. Celebrate your achievements big and small.
Yes, celebrate your achievements big and small by putting down other people's
Do not put
achievements.
down other people. Support other people, lift them up. We can all be achievers together.
It's a zero-sum game.
It is not a zero-sum
game. If I'm
game.
not at the top, then in order for me to be at the top, everyone else has to be at the bottom.
There is no top. We're all achievers.
And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on Living Spaces.
Don't violate dorm policies by moving in people who are not you. That could go very, very badly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and folks, we have a live stream coming up on Friday. I almost forgot to mention it. We hope to see you then. Amber, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.